Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game 1 of 1. It is from the Team Story Cup. It's going to be a ZvZ between two spectacular players. So let me get straight ahead and introduce these two. So spawning in the bottom left position, we've got the blue Zerg from Team Acer. It's Nerchio. And his opponent spawning in the bottom right, the red Zerg player from Quantic, HyuN. So, HyuN v Nerchio, this is going to be spectacular. I'm a real big fan of both these players. Nerchio has got some spectacular playstyles. HyuN has always been top of the top, basically. GSL, really good results in GSL throughout all the different codes. I've known him. The first time I ever cast HyuN was during Antec Attack, which was occurring around this time last year. It was a weekly tournament with actually a $200 prize pool. No, €200 prize pool rather. And it was back when HyuN was on TSL with then Revival as well. And those two always used to get up into the finals. And it would be ridiculous o'clock in Korean time. And they just six-pool each other for all of the best of 7. It was quite amusing. But for the moment, these two just sending the Overlords out. Gonna just bump heads because, let's face it, you know where your opponent is on a two-player map, so that all of the Overlords going to be going the same way. They just rallied out to their opponent's naturals, though, to get a look at what time the hatchery is going to be coming down, whether it's hatch first or pull first. We see from HyuN, though, he's getting down his hatchery first, whereas Nerchio went for a pull first. The economical differences in these two builds are very minute. Obviously, the spawning pull first gives you the queen out slightly sooner, whereas the hatch first means you get a couple more lava, and obviously the double inject going sooner, but all in all, it does balance out in the long term, but the big advantage that the spawning pool first gives you is the ability to get some Zerglings out slightly quicker. Now HyuN, he's gone for the hatch first, following it up with an extractor. So very greedy build, going for all of the tech, all of the gas, before getting down his spawning pool. That just delays his Zerglings, but means he should get speed out quite considerably faster than that of Nerchio, as well as getting that second hatchery down. And the big thing that you always have to be careful of is, just because this hatchery is here, there's always the possibility that it will just be a speedling flood, and it's something that you do need to be cautious of. HyuN in obviously Nerchio as well, both going to get up their gases shortly, and the thing that we need to keep an eye out for is how many drones stay in that gas, whether it's all three, or they all get pulled, or somewhere in between, because that gives us an indicator of whether we're going to be getting quick banelings, quick tech up, or whether it's just for speed, wanting to get a lot of drones out after that, and of course a lot of Zerglings potentially. So now we know what we're looking for. As we can see, the overall placement is fairly standard, just coming down. HyuN will get a quick scout out, see, okay, yep, there's the natural base. We've got the Overlord coming in here for Nerchio, goes, yep, okay, your hatchery's up already. That means you did go hatch first if it's already completed. These timings are really important to know, because you can therefore deduce what your opponent's doing. HyuN with speed getting started, keeping all 3 drones in gas. Meanwhile, we see that Nerchio should have his gas, enough gas to start speed up any moment now, and that is the point where we'll see whether he pulls any drones, but I don't believe he will, just purely based on the fact that he hasn't taken the first one out at 92. So a little bit of Zergling on Zergling action here, nothing too extraordinary, nothing too scary. Baneling Nest is on its way down for HyuN, and he's actually getting it just up here in his main base, as opposed to just trying to create like a little bit of a block at his natural, which some players do choose to do, but this is fine. The Zergling's getting forced back. Meanwhile, we see from Nerchio, he's getting his Spine Crawler down. He's also starting up his own Baneling Nest around the back of his mains mineral lines, so nothing going too crazy here. Of course, a lot of ZvZ is all about the muta on muta action. That's why they're looking at improving Spore Crawler's damage against biological air units, so that obviously muta on muta is a lot less effective, and the current proposed change on the balance change map are actually having Spore Crawlers deal 30 damage to air, additional damage to air, which means actually 3 shot Mutalisks and 5 shot Corruptors, which is incredibly potent and really could see a shift in the ZvZ metagame. But HyuN getting out 16 Zerglings now. He's got 2 Banelings morphing to the side here. Are they going to get spotted by Nerchio? Nerchio's coming extremely close, but no, he goes around to the other side. He does not know that these are here at the moment, and this is going to become as no surprise to Nerchio, because he's got the Overlord there. He should get the scout out straight away, starting up 4 Banelings. He knows he's got a tough defense coming, but he doesn't know about these 2 Banelings that are waddling forward. Nerchio pulling the Speedlings back. That means that he will not be able to catch those 2 Banelings out of position, which could have been oh so good. HyuN's 2 additional Banelings, though, are now getting spotted. One of them probably will die. The second one will survive though. 2 Banelings does kill 2 Banelings, so that's always a good trade to make. But Zerglings streaming through, HyuN running more and more Zerglings through, and this is becoming a bit of a tough hold for him. The Banelings though are going to be an imposing threat for HyuN. Nerchio desperate to control them incredibly well, and for the moment does force his way back, and 5 drones were killed in total, but this counterattack is what could be a little bit scary to HyuN. Now we can see that Nerchio is sitting there with 20 Zerglings to none of HyuN. HyuN desperate to try and produce a couple more. He's getting his queens pulled forward. He's got spine crawlers coming down. He knows that this is going to be a really tough hold. The damage potentially about to come down here to the Quantic player, maybe more than he was able to do to Nerchio, and in come all of these Zerglings. The queens desperately trying to do a bit more damage. Jones even getting pulled in onto this action. The Zerglings streaming up towards the main base, splitting them, forces HyuN to split up his defense as well, making it much more tough for him to be able to hold this off. Banelings starting to waddle their way forward. The main base Zerglings have been cleaned out, and the queens actually doing a good job of focusing most of this. The drones are getting very low, and a couple more will go down, but the big question is who came off better. Well, Nerchio having killed 8 workers there as opposed to the 5 HyuN managed to kill means that the worker count suddenly sitting at 35 for Nerchio to just 24 of HyuN. HyuN and Nerchio both starting their lair within 10 seconds of each other. Very nice timings there. All 4 gases getting taken for HyuN, and 3 gases currently taken for Nerchio. Will he get his 4th shortly? Most likely, assuming that he's going for that muta on muta mid-game action. But HyuN running more Zerglings up. This is incredibly intensive, trying to force some mistakes. One Baneling detonation does go off, gets a few Zerglings there. Just another scout is getting achieved though. Getting to take a look at, okay, this is the lair timing. Nice to know that you're doing something very similar to me. Nerchio with 2 more spine crawlers in production. These 2 desperately to turtle up. We hear more Baneling hits going off pretty much everywhere, but most of the Zerglings have been taken out. If we look at workers killed, 3 difference between them. The worker count once again favouring HyuN though by a single drone. It's not much, but it does make a difference in a mirror matchup, and that's because ultimately he's got these 2 spines out, whereas there's 3 out at the moment for Nerchio, so that's where one of the drones has instantly gone to. HyuN has finished up his lair. The Spire already started though for Nerchio as I speak. Some Zerglings streaming through. There goes the Spire for HyuN. Gets scouted out by Nerchio as well. So even if it was going to come as a bit of a surprise, which it shouldn't with the current metagame, obviously Nerchio knows that they are very equal in terms of their timing of the Spire. Therefore the Mutalisks, the upgrades will all be fairly similar, and that's something that both these 2 players will want to know about, because every Mutalisk does count. A supply block for Nerchio after losing that Overlord. Incredibly frustrating, I must say, something like that, because Nerchio now obviously is 100 minerals down. He had to start another Overlord. He's supply blocking himself yet again, getting 6 more Zerglings out. The Spire on its way, but this is the big difference at the moment. Nerchio taking his 3rd hatch slightly sooner than that of HyuN. These 2 playing so similar, it just shows how well refined all of their builds are and just how close they are in terms of skill. And a couple more Zerglings are running around. We've got HyuN aiming towards Nerchio's base. Going to try and force a cancel at this 3rd, but some speedlings for Nerchio coming across now. This could be a really nice hold if only this Baneling can get a good connection. Where are the Banelings for HyuN? Well, more Zerglings streaming and the Banelings were morphing. Are we going to get a big detonation? No, not quite yet. HyuN pulls back 3 Banelings of his own, morphing, waddling forward, and this is where some damage could go down. The Baneling hit does detonate, doesn't actually manage to take out anything other than 1 Zergling, and good Baneling detonations here from the Quantic player. The Spine Crawlers on their way down this hatchery, taking quite a considerable amount of damage, and we've got more Zerglings coming out. 10 Mutalisks also on the way out for HyuN, 9 Mutalisks on the way out for Nerchio. There's the cancel that Nerchio desperately wanted to try and avoid, but HyuN now taking a substantial lead in terms of the timing of this 3rd. As long as he can keep it up, some Zerglings do streaming. See the first Mutalisk popping out. In terms of the Muta count, well, it's 9 apiece. These 2 very, very close in terms of the Mutalisk numbers. The upgrades, neither have started any Spire upgrades yet, so no +1 flyer carapace. But that just means that every Mutalisk is going to be a real influencing factor in terms of going later. That Overseer does now get taken out. We see the 3rd and now 4th base queued up here for Nerchio. He knows he's got to get ahead. Both players starting their +1 flyer carapace, and near precisely the same moment that Extractor gets taken out. A drone killed there because it wasn't cancelled. Always good to see. The Mutalisk coming in though towards the 3rd base though here for Nerchio, and also a little bit of muta on muta action coming in the center of the map. Is there more for HyuN? I believe that actually there will be once these reinforcements come in. That means Nerchio will be forced to fall back. If we look at the resources lost between these 2, only a handful of resources different, incredibly close in terms of the losses they're taking, and their incomes are also looking fairly similar, with only a 3 drone difference in HyuN's advantage. This 4th hatchery though will be up considerably sooner than that of HyuN's, but HyuN has had this 3rd mining for a long time. Those additional 2 gas guys are really going to help him produce far more Mutalisks than that of his opponent. A couple of overlords getting sniped off here. The first volley off in a Muta on Muta fight can make all of the difference, but they're both trying to pull back, trying to just bait each other, and HyuN actually doing a really nice job at controlling all of this. I believe that he's got more Mutalisks here. He's coming out very nicely on these fights. Reinforcements are streaming in as well. That means Nerchio will be forced back. We've got 9 now to 6 Mutas on the field. The +1 flyer carapace upgrades are on their way through, but now we see that these Mutas pulling back. They're desperate to try and take out that Spore Crawler. Of course, Spore Crawlers deal 30 damage against biological. So that is obviously very, very nice against Mutalisks. We've got, of course, the hatchery at the 4th, getting scouted by these Speedlings. That will take some damage. Meanwhile, we've got Nerchio trying to check up to see whether HyuN has started his own 4th, to which he will be pleasantly pleased to see that no, he has not. But the Muta count just creeping ever so high for HyuN at the moment. He's looking to be in a really comfortable spot here, already up to 14 to the 9 Mutas of Nerchio. He's got 3 more on the way, whereas Nerchio does not have any more coming down for the moment. Just cleaning out these Zerglings, but that means that his 3rd base is exposed to a Muta push. These Spore Crawlers really wanting to try and make all of the difference, with one force to get cancelled very quickly. A couple of drones are going down here. Meanwhile, we've got Zerglings running in towards the natural base. Is there anything on the ground for Nerchio? The answer is yes, there are, but they are just counter-attacking at the moment into the main base. So these two are going to do some mutual damage here, but just look at the superior numbers of Mutalisks out at the moment for HyuN. He's trying to take down this hatchery, and if he's able to do it, it will be great. But drones are going down in both players' mains, and that is a bit of a problem for both of them. 30 workers, though, have been killed by HyuN, and he is taking quite a sizable lead, 11 worker lead over that of his opponent. The Mutas are going to start engaging now. HyuN also starting the +1 flyer attack much sooner, but I don't think we're going to get to see that completed. As we can see, HyuN is trading very nicely here. A Queen getting in, trying to aid with a little bit of extra DPS, but the Muta flock looks bigger for HyuN until those reinforcements come in, where he decides, okay, I cannot trade this cost effectively now. I'm going to have to pull back. A couple of Speedlings for Nerchio running over the top of the map. They're going to try and go in for a bit more counter aggression, but losing that 3rd base yet again for Nerchio just means that he's getting a little bit further behind. Still though, only 400 resources more lost to Nerchio compared to that of HyuN. It's so incredibly close, ridiculously close, I'd say, and therefore this game is still anyone's for the taking. HyuN, though, he does have the additional worker count. That's what's really helping him, as well as once that +1 fly attack comes in, that's going to give him a good little upgrade advantage on the Muta or Muta backers. But this is precisely what Nerchio needs to be doing to come back into this game, picking off a huge number of drones at the 3rd base of HyuN, really leveling out that work count once more. But in comes HyuN with a couple more Mutalisks. He's bringing the Zerglings underneath, trying to soak up some of the bouncing glaives. In terms of the Mutalist number, HyuN is slightly ahead, and Nerchio therefore GG's out, knowing that he's not going to be able to win that game, and that was just such an epic best of 1. If you enjoyed that, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily, so yeah, I'll catch each and every one of you tomorrow for yet another new cast. Thanks for watching, I'm Madals, and bye for now.